To walk or not to walk? That is the question we will be answering. Walking is silent and will prevent the opponents from knowing where you are. Running is faster, but very loud. The circle on the minimap shows where players can hear you from while running. Many players use the wrong speed at the wrong time, which ends up costing them rounds, kills, and lives. People tend to overcomplicate the issue, and keeping it simple is really going to make your split-second decision-making easier, which can win more rounds. Hello everyone, I'm Atchax, and today we will be talking about walking versus running. Let's get started. The first and most important takeaway, if you don't have enough time to walk, then run. When rotating or trying to plant before time expires, walking can take too long, which will lose any chance of winning the round. I've seen this way too much already. You really don't want to be losing rounds this way. At that point, you may as well just throw down all your weapons and run out into the middle of sight. The other constant while walking or running has to do with peeking. If you are peeking, you want to run. If you only run for a step or two, then you won't make any noise. This means you can walk up to an angle and then peek it running. Just look at how my noise circle doesn't pop up if I only run a few steps. When you peek angles slowly, you give the other player extra chances to hit you before you can see them. So walk peeking is something that you'll want to almost entirely cut out of your game. Alright, now we're going to talk about moving around when there isn't a teammate next to you. There is a very prominent second guideline. If the other team knows where you are, such as when you are caught in a cipher trap, run. The sooner you invalidate the enemy team's intel, the better. The point of walking is to prevent the opponents from knowing where you are. If you're highlighted in orange on their screen through walls, they don't really need to hear you anymore. Many players do respond well to getting trapped by these intel abilities, but forget that a kill is essentially intel too. The other player that you've just eliminated will probably tell his team where you are, and if not, the noise, minimap, or game sense will tell them anyways. When you just got a frag, walking will usually just prevent you from distancing yourself from the spot the other team knows you are in. The third guideline is to walk when the opponent will not be looking at you, and run when you think they will be looking at you. If I am back here and nobody saw me come back here, then there is a really slim chance that they will be watching this angle, because they do not expect anyone to come from here, so I will walk. However, if I'm moving up long C on Haven, I will run, because C players have like one job, and that's to watch C long. The logic behind this is simple. Eliminating a stationary opponent who isn't looking at you is far easier than one who is looking at you and shooting back. You walk because you want them to have their back turned to you so that you can get a free elimination. Walking out behind your opponents can be one of the best setups for a multifrag. On top of that, if you can get your team to press from the other side, it's almost a sure sight take. In situations with low player counts, for example a 2-on-3 or 2-on-2, you will want to walk if they haven't seen you yet. The element of surprise will keep people guessing and maybe cause them to make a mistake. For example, an attacker may try to plant, giving you an easy frag. Or, defenders may be forced to guard both sites since they don't know where you are, giving you an advantage when you do commit to one site. When there is a smoke, Viper's ult, or another site-blocking event, it may be good to walk, because these abilities will make it difficult for people to tell where you are. Depending on smoke placement, you can sometimes walk through the smokes behind the opposing players and get some sneaky frags. The solo guidelines are pretty specific, but the team guidelines are going to be a little bit more open-ended, just because more players means more variables. First, teams have more difficulty going unnoticed than one or two players, especially random teams who are often uncoordinated. Because of this, most of the time you'll get noticed in some way, shape, or form. Once nades start going down or an execute becomes clear, I would recommend running. There are a few players who will continue to walk and let their team leave them behind. This is tactically unsound because you can't trade anyone and the other team already knows you are there. The goal of team stealth is to keep the defense split, which will give your team an easier time taking sight. The other guideline is to walk if a teammate is also walking. They're probably walking for a good reason, and it's common courtesy to not give their position away. Also, make sure to communicate to your teammates when you want them to walk, because it can be hard to tell. Let's sum it up. Walking offers stealth, while running offers speed. When speed is not important, typically default to stealth. Walking can help you set up easier frags, but as soon as the other team figures out where you are, it becomes useless. Make sure to run when walking will be too slow for time, and to run when peeking. And that is running versus walking. I hope you got some value out of this video. Best of luck everyone, and have a great day.